Fixing tight low back and tight hamstrings. Hey guys, it's Dr. Kresimir here. I'm a chiropractor from London, Ontario, Canada. This is like take 15, which is why I'm laughing moving into the intro. On today's video, I'm not just going to be talking about fixing tight low backs and tight hamstrings. I'm going to be showing you some exercises. I have two very important exercises that I filmed. I'm going to be discussing them. But before we get into the conversation, please like, share, and subscribe. It'll help get this information to more people in the community. They need to hear it because people are struggling with these types of issues. So to add to this conversation, I'm not going to be talking about stretches today. Not that stretches are not important. I feel like I've done, I wouldn't say enough because there's always more to do, but comparing the two, I feel like there's enough stretch videos. There's less videos out there on today's topic, which is strength training. Strength is so totally overlooked and yet completely vital and integral to you solving not just your mechanical pain problems, but a lot of other problems with your movement and even other problems in life in general. In that, strength is like money. It makes everything better. And I'm not joking. There's data on strength, people getting stronger, and it helping mental conditions even like dementia and Alzheimer's disease, rehab and injury. It is one of those things where your strength and even physical strength is almost panacea in the sense that it improves your bodily functions for everything. Now, with stretching, yes, of course, range of motion is important. You want the correct range of motion in all of your joints before you start loading them with weight. However, the missing equation for most of you is you're mobile and you're flexible, you're missing the strength component. So I wanted to give you two exercises. After I talk about strength, I wanted to show you the two exercises and then talk about them so you can start adding them into your routine. Okay, so I already mentioned the first bit. Strength literally is like money in that it makes every aspect of your life easier and better. Now, it's important to know that we're not talking about muscle hypertrophy. I don't necessarily want you to get bigger muscles. This isn't about, bulking up. This is about muscle strength has to do with recruiting more muscle fibers. So the way that you get stronger is your nerve system, the pathways from your brain out to the muscles, you're able to recruit more muscle fibers. And as a result, what starts to happen is the muscles work better. There's more balance in your body and your body can handle things like tightness and injury better. Since part of tightness, like a tight low back or tight hamstrings, one of the main reasons that your hamstrings are tight is because your glutes are underdeveloped. Once you have underdeveloped groups, and you can see people that have a really flat butt, that's one of the signs that your glutes might be underdeveloped. If the glutes are undeveloped, remember the glutes are one of the things that help extend your lower back, the glutes in the posterior chain. And if the glutes are underdeveloped and not firing, then that falls onto the hamstrings. So the stronger you get your glutes, the more stretched out your hamstrings become, the more that fixes everything. And that's just one example, okay? So not muscle strength makes everything better is point number one. We want muscle strength, not muscle hypertrophy. It's not like getting you big and bulky. And I already touched on number three when I was speaking about that last part. It brings more balance to your body. So here is a great time to cut to those exercises. The first one is a snatch grip, straight leg raise, and that was a mouthful. And the second one is a Bulgarian split squat. So we'll cut there and I'll be right back. Okay, welcome back. So the first exercise, here's what's really important. When you're doing a snatch grip deadlift with relatively straight legs, it doesn't necessarily mean that your legs have to be completely straight. You can see my knees are a little bit bent. What has to happen is you want to keep your core tight. So I don't want my lower back curling or producing this C shape, which is what happens sometimes with the straight leg raises. You want your low back to be straight and you want to hinge at the waist. The movement stops because I'm still lacking a little bit of mobility. The movement stops at about mid shin for me, because if I were to go further, I would start to get that arching in my low back, and that is the type of loading we don't want in your spine when you're doing a straight leg deadlift. So please keep that in mind. It's okay if your mobility at the beginning is just this. It'll continue to improve as you do this exercise more, but at the beginning, just a little bit is necessary, but keeping that core tight and that back flat is paramount. And also being ready to be sore. If you've never done either of these exercises, it can hurt a lot. So you don't have to load the weight up. It's more about just training your body neurologically to make those two movements possible. And of course, if something doesn't feel right, please stop and contact somebody, call our office or go see your personal trainer, or have somebody show you how it feels in your body to do these exercises correctly. The Bulgarian split squat, you can see at the start of the exercise, I count 3, toe to heel steps. That's typically as far away from the bench or the box that you want to be when you're picking up the weight. When you pick up the weight, it's important to keep your torso straight when you're bending down. We want to avoid leaning, because what leaning does, this exercise is a test. If you're leaning forward, your hip flexor might be tight. So we want to make sure that we're able to stay upright and square. If you're unable to stay upright and square, then there's other ways that we can start to introduce this exercise. It's important that your knee of the back leg touch the ground in between reps, and the leg that's first, it's important to stay off your heels and make sure that you're to stay off your toes and make sure that you're pushing through your heels. And I know that's a lot, and I know that strength training can be complicated and it's important to do the exercises correctly, but that doesn't make it any less important. It's something that you need to learn how to do and incorporate correctly. If there's any questions, please feel free to always reach out or post them below in the comments. I would love to answer them and start a conversation around this. If you're just starting out and this isn't a part of your regime, 3 sets of 8 or 3 sets of 8 per leg would be a fantastic way to start. And like I said, be careful with the soreness. If you've never done it, you can be sore. Post those questions below. Hope that wasn't drinking from a fire hose information overload, but if it was, we'll help you get through it. Have a wonderful day. Enjoy this lovely fall weather, and we'll talk to you soon.